Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Dr. Ramchandra sir has given a brief introduction of me. Okay. And today topic we are going to discuss about the student outreach program on UPSC examinations. Okay. So today topic is how you're supposed to be going for a UPSC examinations in the country. Okay. So this is what I mean UPSC examination. UPSC means Union Public Service Commission. Okay, Union Public Service Commission. Okay, this is the one of the autonomous body. Okay, this is the one of the autonomous body in the country. Okay, which conducts the examination. UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, is one of the autonomous body which conducts the examinations for Indian Administrative Services, Indian Police Services, Indian Revenue Services, Indian Engineering Services, okay, and Indian Foreign Services, Indian Forest Services, Indian Economy Services, something like this. There are 24 different types of the examination will be conducted by the UPSC every year. Okay, and see, the thing is something like this. When you are talking about Indian Administrative Services, Indian Police Services, Indian Revenue Services, right now, Indian Foreign Services, Indian Forest Services, Indian Engineering Services. There are many things, something like this. All the designations and the posts and the services are at the same equivalent to the IAS. Okay, but these of the officers are working in a different stream of a country, different streams in a, various departments and various designations, but the facilities, the salaries, then what are the things they are getting, it is equivalent to the IAS officer, because this is comes under the UPSC examinations. Is it fine? Okay, these are the 24 different types of the examination will be conducted every year, and every year there is 1,000 posts will be created or be called up by the UPSC every year. There's 1,000 posts approximately, 900 plus or 1,000 plus, something like this, plus or minus 10. Okay, and these are the things, these are the different posts within all India services or central services, something like this. Okay, there are almost 1,000 vacancies in the country will be created. And and after this, uh, we go for a okay, fine. See, any of the student in the country was supposed to go for an Indian Administrative Services, or IAS or IPS or IAS or something like this. Suppose, how is he supposed to go for an application, and how you that what is the procedure for going for all these things, right? So this is something like this. On every year in the month of the February, the notification will be released, okay, in the internet by the UPSC website. I'll repeat, every year in the month of February, the notification of an UPSC will be released. And your notification, what is this notification is? Notification is the all the details, the examination conducted by the UPSC every year. This is what called notification. They will conduct obviously prelims or mains or Indian Engineering Services, Foreign Services, Forest Services, with the timetable, with the all the details will be available on the website called www.upsc.gov.in. This is the official website of the UPSC from the Government of India, right now. So you can see all the details of the UPSC examination on the website www.upsc.gov.in every year. Normally, in the month of February, I mean, almost equal to the 16th or 17th of the February, this notification will be released. Okay, and because of this corona, this some variation has happened in the 2020, but till to here, this is keep on happening on the month of the February 16th or 17th, right? And so saying all these things, so anybody want to go for some interested students are, going for I want to be an IAS officer, IPS officer, Indian Engineering Services, Railway, something like this. So if they are decided to go for it, so what you supposed to do? You are supposed to go for an application. You are supposed to apply for it. So the application available on the website, something called upsconline.nic.in. So you can see on the screen. The applications are available at the upsconline.nic.in. This is the website you are supposed to apply the application for a UPSC examinations. Okay, so this is the things actually. So you got now the UPSC is one of the autonomous body from the government of India which conduct the examination for all these things for different 24 streams of examination. The official website is in upsc.gov.in. You will get the notification. And once again, the upsconline.nic.in is a website. I mean, this is the login application login website. You can go into this and you can apply for this. This is how you are supposed to get into the UPSC streamline. Okay, and what is the parameters? What is the parameters for this? For any examination, okay, you can go to any examination. You are supposed to go for a examination fees. You go for examination fees, right? So I think many of the engineers are in non-technical or non-technical. Many of the people are going for examination fees. What is the examination fees for IAS in the country? This is just 100 rupees. Okay, examination fees for IAS examinations in the country is 100 rupees for a general category. Okay, and if you apply for if you are going to the website called upsconline.nic.in, and you can submit in the online and pay 100 rupees, you are the IAS aspirant of the country. No, see, IAS aspirant of the country, it is not a joke. It's a huge, and IAS is one of the toughest examination in the country. And once again, IAS is the top-notch position of the country as of now. Fine. So you are becoming IAS aspirant of the country. Just applying the examination fees for 100 rupees and other parameters. What I supposed to go for this now? And this 100 rupees is, see, this 100 rupees is less than a coffee price in a coffee day. You'll become an IAS aspirant of the country. This is for a general category, and for all the females of the country, and physically handicapped, and all the category students, all the category students and the physically handicapped people, and all the degree holders of the females of the country. This fee is exempted. Examination fees for all the female of the country is free of cost. Just go to the upsconline.nic.in, log in, and you'll become an IAS aspirant of the country. It's absolutely free for the girls or ladies in the country. This is what the fee structure of the IAS examinations. You go to the upsconline.nic.in, you can log in. Right now, and after this, and this is minimum degree is required. Okay, this is degree is required for the applying the applications. Our final year students is also can apply for this IAS examinations, right? And what is the age factor? What is the age factor for applying the IAS examinations? See, minimum age is 21 years. Minimum age is 21 years to going for a UPSC examination. Okay, and what is the maximum age to apply? Maximum age to go for a IAS examinations for a general merit. So maximum age is 32 years, and then they can write the IAS examination 6 times. I repeat. Okay, for a general merit, the maximum age limit is 32 years, and they can write maximum number of times is 6 attempts. And for OBC, maximum age limit is 35 years, and they can write 9 times. Okay, they can write 9 times. And for SC/ST, the maximum age is 37 years, and they can write unlimited time. Okay, unlimited time. As examination fees for general merit is 100 rupees, for OBC is 100 rupees. SC/ST, female, and physically handicapped is fees exempted. I'll come to the another point of here. It's something like this. See, the Constitution of India has given the parameter that you can apply the UPSC examination till to the 32 years, 35 years, and 37 years. Right now, so This is the constitutional parameters. Right now, this is the constitutional parameters. The anybody can go for it, but still, the real fact is, any of the IAS exam, any of the UPSC examination, any of the IAS examination should be cleared within 28 years or 29 years. That's so you cannot go keep on writing till to the age of 32 or 35 or 37. You cannot do that. Very rare, very rare cases you can clear at the age of 32 and 35 or 37, something like this. Many of the 98 to the 99% of the students are supposed to be going for clearing the other things within 28 or 29, max 30. You cannot write because you cannot at the age of 28 or 29 you cannot compete with the speed and intelligence with respect to the who are writing at the age of 23 or 24 or something like this. You cannot do that. Okay. So what you are supposed to going for UPSC examination, you are supposed to do all these things within 28 years, and I think you can do wonderful things for the country. Okay, this is really one thing is. So one is fees is 100 rupees and minimum age is something like this 21 years and maximum age is something like this, and the age factor is almost, I mean the degree is minimum is required. And as an engineering faculty, I just tell you one statistics with respect to this. I know there is a 12,500 engineering colleges are there in India as of now. I know. So we produce almost 18 million to 20 million engineers per year as of today. I know. So among that, so today you take a past 8 to 9 years or 10 years statistics, 75% of the engineers are going for a UPSC examination. 75% of the engineers are going for a UPSC examination, and almost 12%, right? So, 12% of the commerce students are going for this examination, UPSC, and 8% are arts students, and 3% are MBBS doctors, and 2% professionals are attempting the UPSC examinations now. Many of the engineers are cracking the examinations. Many of the engineering students or engineers are cracking the UPSC examinations nowadays. We'll come to this point of why these 75% and easily they are cracking the examination. But the thing is something like this. Because why you are supposed to go for an IAS examination? You know, why you are supposed to? Many of why 75% of engineers are going for a IAS and IPS or something like this? Because of this. First one, you are getting the job security. Personally, I'm talking about you are getting the job security. You know, first one, you are getting the job security and you are in a very good economical conditions. And third one is respect. Wherever you go, you can, you will get respect everywhere. You might not know the many people, but many people know you when you are become a deputy commissioner of the district, right? And after that, you are getting the huge power in the districts, right? So huge power in the district. You believe it or not, see, if you become a deputy commissioner of any districts in the country, you know how many departments will come under you. For how many departments you may be head. See, there is a 300 departments are there in a government sector. You become a deputy commissioner, you are the head for all these things. You are the final word. Everybody should listen to you. 300 departments. You can go to any department. You can go to and you can check and you'll give the suggestion, something like this. Okay. And another one is, so your signature, your one signature makes a change in the fate. You can change the fate of a 50 lakh people in the district by one signature. Okay, it may be right or wrong or excellent or wonderful, whatever it is. So you are responsible to take a changes, whatever you want to do, something like this. And by a single signature, that weightage of your single signature makes a change, okay, of a citizen of the country. 50 lakh people at one shot. Fine. So these are the things are there. And many of the people nowadays are more aware about engineering, UPSC examinations as of now, and they are going for it. Okay, and another one. So this is what the parameter, and I'll go to the examination sections now. So there is as everybody knows this, IAS examination has 3 stages. One is a prelims. Second one is mains examination, and third is interview. All right, we call we call it as an interview in Delhi, right? So we go one by one, right? So we'll go to prelims examinations. Okay, overview of the examination. I'm talking about the examination, something called, there is a 3 stages. One is a preliminary examination, and this preliminary examination will be conducted for a 400 marks. Okay, fine. And second one is mains examination. Mains examination will be conducted for a 1,750 marks. And interview, we call that as an interview normally, but actually, strictly speaking, it is a personality test. Personality test will be conducted by 275 marks. Okay, these are the 3 stages of IAS examination or UPSC examination conducted by the country. Right now, so we'll go one by one. What is this preliminary examination? So we go for a preliminary in detail with respect to the preliminary examinations. So we told that this preliminary examination is for 400 marks. Okay, preliminary examination is a 400 marks, and it can be divided into 2. Right now, paper 1 and paper 2. So this 400 marks will be divided into paper 2, paper 1 and paper 2, 200 marks each. Right now, 200 marks each. So paper 1, once again, this is a paper 1 carries 200 marks, paper 2 carries 200 marks. It's a 2 hours examination. It's a 2-hour examination. And what are the things is contained when this carried out? What is the syllabus for this? So in a paper 1, you are going for a history, you are going for geography, you are going for a polity, economy, environment, general science, and current affairs. These are the topics you are supposed to read at the paper 1 in a preliminary examination of an IAS. Okay. See this. You see, many of the students we are studied all the things: history, geography, polity, economy, all those things in a high school section, and we forgotten all these things. Right now, exactly. See, these history, geography, polity, and economy, all these things, general science and general science. These are all the topics you supposed to read for IAS examination is from a 6th standard to the 12th standard NCERT books only. You're supposed to go for the syllabus which is supposed to cover by 6th standard to the 12th standard. Okay, for NCERT books only. You're supposed to read till 6th to 12th. So if you read this one, you are preparing for a IAS prelims examination in the country. And current affairs, you're reading the newspaper. Right now, so in a paper 1, so in a paper 1, they'll give you 100 questions. Okay, they'll give the 100 questions. Each question carries 2 marks. You know, so each question carries 2 marks and 2 hours. Fine. So and another one, paper 2 is once again they'll carry 80 questions, 200 marks, and 2 hours. What is the syllabus covered for this paper 2? Quantitative. It's in quantitative aptitude, reasoning, and comprehension. Okay. See here, this is a little bit of mathematics. Right now, so it is once again it is 10th standard mathematics. It is not much. Once again, I told you 6th standard to the 12th standard NCERT books. You know, you're supposed to read for this, and mathematics also, general science also. All these things are covering by the 6th standard to the 12th standard NCERT books only. And I told you 75% of the engineers are passing this examinations. I know nowadays means because of this, because of the paper 2. Because all the engineering students are good at mathematics, right? So they easily clear the quantitative aptitude, reasoning, and the comprehension. And there is only 80 questions are there. Each question carries 2.25 marks and 200 marks and 2 hours. These are the 2 papers you are supposed to attend for IAS prelims examination in the country. I know. So, and what the type of examination? You are not in the preliminary examination, you are not supposed to write anything. You're supposed to tick. It's an objective type or a multiple choice. You know, you are supposed to tick any of the answers. It's an objective type. 1 question, 4 answers. You're supposed to tick the right answer. That's all. Okay. And once again, you cannot tick all the answers. What all the things are there? All you cannot tick 100 questions or 80 questions. No. There is a negative marking is there. 1/3 of the marks will be reduced for 1 wrong answer. There's a negative answer. Okay, negative marking is there. So if you scored 3 right answer, the one right answer, 3 wrong answer, your score is 0. Please be careful while taking the answer. So if you return 1 right answer, 3 wrong answer, your answer, your marks will be 0. So 1/3 of the marks will be is there. That is with respect to the negative marking. Okay. And another important thing is the candidate must score 33% and above in his paper second. That's a mandatory. That's a compulsory. Okay, that's a compulsory that the candidate has to score 33% above in a paper 2 only. That's a mandatory. Actually, in evaluation, the UPSC will evaluate the paper 2 first. Then they'll go to paper 1. Right now, see if the candidate is scored 33% above and he is eligible. Otherwise, he is not qualified. Okay, the candidate is not scored 33% above in a paper 2 and paper 1 is not supposed to evaluate, is not qualified. So many of the engineers are qualifying in a UPSC nowadays means they are good at mathematics. They will clear the paper 2 very easily and they will qualify for a prelims examinations. Okay, this is the reason, one of the reason for why the engineers are going for many UPSC examinations. So these are the things are there for writing the preliminary examination for IAS. And another one is there is 3 centers are there. 3 centers are given to the Karnataka to write the IAS prelims examination. One is in Dharwad, another is in Bangalore, another is in Mysore. Okay, you can take a examination centers in these 3 places. The last year there is a 16 centers is given to write the IAS prelims examinations in Mysore. Okay, you can take any of these 3 centers in the state. So this is how you are supposed to write the prelims examination for IAS. Okay, is that fine? So we will go for a mains now. We clear this IAS prelims examination. So we go for a mains examination. Fine. Yes. So if you clear the mains examination, prelims examination, and you are supposed to go for a mains examination for IAS. Okay. So mains, actually the real thing is the game starts now. You are supposed to write and all. This is not a ticking of the examination. You are supposed to write the examination now. There are the 7 papers are there in the mains examination for IAS in the country. See, first one is General Studies 1. Okay, paper 1, General Studies 1, General Studies 2, General Studies 3, General Studies 4. Okay, and 2 optional subject. Okay, 2 optional 1 and optional 2, and another one is an essay. So 4 plus 2 plus 1. There is a 4 general studies papers are there, and 2 optional subjects are there, and 1 essay you're supposed to write for a IAS mains examinations. Yeah, and the total each subject carries 250 marks. Okay, and a 3 hours examinations. Fine. So general studies paper 1 you're supposed to write 250 marks. All the 7 subject carries 250 marks. Total is 1750 marks you're supposed to write in a mains examinations. Okay, and go for this. Let's say once again you also the 2 topics will be given. You can take any one of the 2 topics. You can write 250 marks. Okay, and general studies 1. General studies 1 paper 1 we call that as. So what it covers actually? What is the syllabus of this one? Okay, it's an Indian heritage and culture, history, geography of the world and society. These are the topics in the general studies 1 in a IAS mains examinations. General studies 2, or paper 2 for 250 marks. It's a governance and a constitution and a polity and a social justice and international relations. Okay, these are the topic will be covered for a IAS mains examination in paper 2. And general studies 3, It's a technology, economical development, biodiversity, environment, security, and disaster management. These are the topics will be covered for a general studies paper 3 in IAS mains. And general studies 4, it is an ethics, integrity, and aptitude. This is once again for 250 marks. These are the general studies everybody should write it. Okay, these 4 papers. Yes, sir, you can, and you have 2 options. And once again, optional subject, you can take it any of your favorite subject. I know normally many of the engineering students can think about this. So, okay, I'm an engineer, I can go for an engineering subject for an optional. Okay, many people, many students will think like this. But it is my sincere request or suggestion is something like this. Please don't go for a engineering subject. Okay, they will screw like anything. Okay, normally people are going for an optional subject for is a geography or anthropology or something like this, history or something. And many of the people, if you go to the geography, okay, you can score more marks in a mains examination. Geography is a scoring subject. Anthropology is a scoring subject. You can read very easily. Okay, these are the small suggestions you can go for it. Is that fine? Then another one is another after all these things also these are the syllabus and the subject you're supposed to write into the IAS mains examination. Okay, and after this also there is a 300 marks. The plus 2 qualifying papers are there, English and regional languages. Okay, you're supposed to write one qualifying paper. Okay, for language paper you're supposed to write English and regional language. You're supposed to write, this is for 300 marks. 300 marks you must write. And in a 300 marks, you're supposed to score only 25% of this marks. Okay, 25% of the 300 marks you're supposed to score for qualifying it. Your this marks, if you score out of 300, if you score 290 or 275, something like this, it will not add to your merit. It is just only a qualifying paper. Okay, language paper, it is only for qualifying in a IAS examinations. Okay, and these marks will not be added to the any of your merit. Only these 7 papers will add your merit. That's all. So this is what the subject and the marks and the syllabus you are supposed to write in a IAS mains examinations. For these 7 papers, you will get almost 20 to 25 days time. Okay, you can write it with a little bit of gap in between the exams. Okay, and after this, this is the only in Karnataka, Bangalore is the only examination center who's supposed to write. Okay, anywhere in Karnataka who are going for an IAS mains examination, you're supposed to come to the Bangalore and they can write it. Okay, this is the only one center in Karnataka. And if you cleared this, okay, if you cleared this IAS mains examination, you're supposed to go for a interview or a personality test with Delhi only. So personality test or interview will be conducted for IAS examination in the country is in Delhi only. Okay, all parts of the Karnataka, all parts of the Indian, in India who are cleared mains examination are supposed to come to the interview or a personality test to the Delhi only. Okay, and what are the things are there in a this one in an interview, right? So just I will go for an interview. Okay, we'll call that as a personality test. Exactly, strictly speaking, it is not an interview; it's a personality test. Interview means asking the question, getting the answer. That's all. Oh, this is not like this. This is exactly the personality test of a candidate. Okay, and the personality test will be conducted to the marks of 275 marks only. Okay, the marks for a personality test is 275 marks. The duration is only 30 minutes. You will be interviewed, will be tested by the 4 to 5 IAS officer or UPSC officers at Delhi for 30 minutes only. It is not much than that. Okay, this is what the thing. You are interviewed in IAS in IAS in a Delhi just only for 30 minutes, and this is for 275 marks. And another one is you can answer in English or any other Indian languages, regional languages. You can whichever it's comfortable to you. If there's an option is there before going to the interview, you're supposed to inform to the UPSC that I will answer. I will take an interview by this language. You can opt it. Okay, these are the things. So after this 275 attending this 275 marks, so you will be qualified for as an IAS according to the ranking. Okay, the first 100 is an IAS, and then is an IPS, then is an IRS, then foreign services in something like it carries according to the ranking. Okay, so these are the 3 steps you are supposed to go for IAS examination in the country. Okay, and once again, I'll give a small suggestion in this here. See, when you are writing the prelims, they will check how much informative you are. Okay, the prelims examination to check how much informative you are. That's why they will use the examination pattern, something called objective type or multiple choices. How much informed you are. So they will check all this thing. And you come to the mains, they will check how you are knowledgeable. Okay, what's your knowledge depth and how you are presenting this, how much you know, real intelligence, how is this? Okay, they will check all these things in a mains examination. Then come to the personality test, what they will check. See, they don't check your information, they don't check your knowledge, nothing in the personality test. No, they already you checked by all this by these for examinations. Then what they will check you? What they will test you? Personality test. When you're sitting in the IAS interview by 4 or 5 IAS or UPSC officers in Delhi, they will check how much ethical you are. They check your integrity, they check your ethics, they check your commitment, and they'll check how you behave in a crucial conditions. So they will check all within a 30 minutes only. See, are you a liar? Are you really truth? Or you are an ethical or integrity of the nation or something like this. So they will check who are you. That is why they called as a personality test. They don't call it as an interview. They check what really you are. Okay, within 30 minutes is more enough to evaluate any of the candidate. So many people going within 2 minutes. Some people will take 28 minutes or 29 minutes, something like this. Some people will take 30 minutes. Depends on the stuff of the candidate. That's all. How much you are putting in facing the interview and how you are giving the answer and something like this. How you are behaving, how you are handling, how much you know. These are the things is supposed to be tested in a personality test in a IAS examinations. Okay, and this is only for 275 marks for 30 minutes. And after this, you are clear the examination process of an IAS. Immediately. So immediately you're not put into the post. If you just a deputy commissioner, assistant commissioner, and superintendent of police or something. No. After this one, you are put into the training. Okay, Lal Bahadur Shastri IAS Training Center at Mysore. It's in a Jharkhand, and it is a hill station. You are going for a 1-year training there. 1-year training there. How you supposed to go for administration in a country or in a district or something like this. You'll be trained. Okay, you'll be trained in a Lal Bahadur Shastri IAS Training Center at Missouri. It's in a Jharkhand. It's a hill station. You'll be trained there for 1 year. Then afterwards, you are going for a posting. Okay. After that, you are going for a posting for deputy commissioner or superintendent of police or CEO of a Jilla Panchayat or various departments in the government of India or government of the states. It depends. Okay. So this is what the things. and you will be posted to the ground, and you are supposed to report there, and you start working with that. And before going there, so before reporting to the any duty, you will get an appointment letter, So you will get an appointment letter. You have to get it. No, it is signed by whom? The appointment letter of any other UPSC candidate or IAS officer is signed by the President of India, the first man of the country, first citizen of the country. That appointment letter is signed by the President of India. What is the weightage of this? Anybody can sign this prime. Anybody can write. Anybody can sign this. But for UPSC examination, for IAS and IPS, President of India will sign and give the appointment letter to you. And what is the weightage? What is the weightage means? Nobody can terminate from the service. Nobody. Either a minister, either a chief minister of the state, or a central minister, or even Prime Minister of India cannot terminate you. I repeat, even Prime Minister of India cannot terminate any of the IAS officer. He don't have any rights to terminate you. They can only transfer you, that's all, not terminate. There's a long process to terminate an IAS officer in the country. There's a lot of rules and regulations are there. And you should be put into the scandal, and you come to the to the UPSC board. UPSC court. If not also that your the bill should be placed again in a Lok Sabha against you, and that should be billed. That should be voted by 2/3 of the votes. If yes, that is go to the Rajya Sabha to the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Then it should be signed. Then you will be terminated. It's a process of this process is called impeachment. So the process of impeachment is to terminate any IAS officer. It's a long process. As of today, after 73 years of independence, no IAS officers was terminated as of now. Not even single. Even though they have many scandals, many these, that, and all, nobody was terminated. So the job security is so much secure, Nobody can terminate. Even Prime Minister of India cannot terminate you. Right now, this is what the thing actually, and you will supposed to go for the jobs. And when you go to the any other district as a deputy commissioner, you are handling almost 300 departments in a district. Can you imagine? As in college, a professor, I was an HOD for only one department. I'm a HOD for electronics and communication. That's all. If you become a deputy commissioner, you are the head for 300 departments. In the district, and you can take into decision. Everybody should listen to you. You are the final one. And once again, you will get the power. Just I'll give you only one example. For example, here I'll take an example of Mysore. Almost there is a 3 industrial estates are there. We can get almost 2,000 companies are there. 2,000. The topmost position of any of the company in a private company is a CEO. CEO is the topmost. This one, that CEO may be studied in Massachusetts, Oxford University, or anywhere in the world. He may be CEO, right? And if there is a 2,000 companies are there in a district, there should be a CEO. 2,000 CEOs are there, but there is only one DC in a district. And I'll tell you what's the power of a DC now, right? He will send one mail to all the CEOs, to all the companies. See, tomorrow morning there is a meeting by 10 o'clock at my office. You're supposed to attend it. Full stop. Where, what, why? No. All this 2,000 CEOs should wait in front of the door of in a DC office. Otherwise, they should face the consequences. So you can call anybody. He may be whatever, he may be coming in Audi car or a Jaguar or something like this. But he should be sit in front of the DC and he should listen what he see. That's a power. You will get the security, respect, power. Apart from this also, if you are good at heart, if you're a little bit good at heart, you can do something to the country. Okay, you can do something to the country. See, this is something. This is the one and only the best things we can serve the country. You know, this is the only one. See, as an I can help, I can serve the country for. See, I can, if as a lecturer and a faculty, a professor, I can help only to the five members or 10 or something like this. Or a principal, I can use 10 or 20. Some people 50 or 60. Some people maybe industrial, it can be 100, something like. But if you become a deputy commissioner of any other district, you can help. Okay, 50 lakh people at one shot. As of now, once again, after 73 years of independence, okay, see, even our village, rural places don't have any roads, hospitals, educations, these many things are there. As a deputy commissioner of the district, if you give the water facility or not getting the water, you know, see, even villages, the people of the village will be very happy, right? They will bless you. And the blessing, no, it is more than all the facilities what you are getting it. And you have a satisfaction that you did something to the country, the people of the country. And that is not by your money, it is from the government of India money. That's from the government money, you will do all those things. You are a bridge, and we can change the world. Definitely, you can change the country. You are the future of the country. Please go for this. Okay? Please go for this UPSC examination. It's a wonderful to service the country. And once again, many of the people think that, so it is not my cup of tea. IAS isn't huge and tough and something like this, right now? No, it is not that. You know, see here, I just, and mean you take a list of this one. Me even railway coolie become an IAS officer and Pani Puri wala, then something like this, right? See, I'll play one video here now. He's in Hassan, Shafiz Hassan, right? He's a 22 years old. That's all. He's a 22 years old from the Rajasthan, you know, and become the top highest top second topper in the country. Okay, so if you are seeing that one gentleman was on the screen, he is Shafin Hassan, 2018 batch now. Okay, 2018 batch, second IPS topper in the country. Okay, he was a very brilliant guy, and he came with a normal middle class family. His father is an electrician, and mother is doing rotis to the functions, you know, and he's a brilliant boy. Okay, he cleared his IAS prelims very nicely, and he was preparing for IAS mains. When the examination day, he was going to write the examination for a general studies paper 3. Okay, there is a 9 o'clock examination, IAS mains examination is there, you know. So by 8:30, he met with an accident. Okay, 9 o'clock IAS mains general studies paper 3 examination is supposed to conduct. While going by 8:30, he met with an accident on the road. There's a bloodshed on the body, you know, so much for damage. And what he thought, he seen his body, there's too much of damage, and there's a bloodshed. And what if I was there? No, first you carry to the hospital, then we'll see the IAS in the next year, something like this. But what he thought? See, he checked. I'm writing my examination on the right side, right hand. My right hand is working now. He saw that. Can I sustain another 3 hours? Yes, I can sustain another 3 hours. Then let me go to the exam hall. Then we'll go to the hospital. He decided to go to the exam hall. He written the exam, IAS mains examination, and he cleared it. Okay, he cleared IAS mains examination. Then once again, the health is not good to this guy. Okay, it's varying. Normally, it is happening in September. IAS mains is supposed to happen in September, and after this, actually February and March. So after clearing this mains, interview will be taken in the month of the February and March. March 22nd. For him is March 22nd. And before going to the interview, he is hospitalized. He is in ICU before 1 month. Till to the March 20th, he was in ICU. February to March. Okay. He was in ICU. And see, the IAS mains or IAS interview, it's a huge preparation. You cannot go directly to this something like this. No, it is not possible. Okay, because of this health conditions, he was in ICU and went to the IAS interview at Delhi. Okay, and just 2 days early. Then he cleared, and he attended the interview. He cleared the IPS examination of the country, the India's second topper of the country. He's working in Odisha as an IPS officer in the country at the age of 22. Okay, please think. There are many examples are there. Anybody can do it in the country who are committed, who are dedicated, and who are really passionate about it. Okay, anybody who are now who are listening to me, who are in the listening to me now, everybody, you have all the qualities to write an IAS examination in the country, and you have an opportunity to write an examination. You have a quality and you have an opportunity to write it. Please don't miss this. Okay, because even though we have a quality of writing an IAS examination, we don't have an opportunity. We are an age bar people. Nobody was told me earlier 20, 25 years back to write an IAS examination. Otherwise, even I'll become an IAS officer. Please, but now you have an opportunity and you have a quality of writing an IAS exam. Please use this and do the service to the country. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, please watch this video and he speaks to you.
मैंने जीपीएससी क्लियर किया, क्लास 1 गुजरात में रैंक 34 था. यूपीएससी क्लियर किया.
This. Okay, so hopefully, can we have these questions of him? Yeah. Huh? So after this, anybody have a doubt and clarification, you can also ask me. And also, as of now, we have started KS batch, one of the KS batch now. Anybody who is interested to go for a KS, please call me. This is Narsimurthy here. My number is 861 875 1967.
मैंने जीपीएससी क्लियर किया, क्लास 1 गुजरात में रैंक.
Okay, I repeat, my number is 861 875 1967. For any doubt and clarification with respect to the UPSC or KPSC or anything with respect to this, please call me.
रैंक 34 था. यूपीएससी क्लियर किया, रैंक 570, आईपीएस, becoming the youngest IPS of Gujarat at such a early age. And then people come to you and बोलते हैं आप बहुत नसीबदार हैं. You are very lucky. I tell them in reverse, luck favors the brave. कोई अपना लक साथ में लेके नहीं आता, वो बनाना पड़ता है. अगर आपके पास रिस्क लेने का एटीट्यूड है, सी मैं गुजराती हूं एंड वी नो द बिजनेस, एंड बिजनेस का एक ही फंडा है, हायर द रिस्क, हायर द प्रॉफिट. सो अगर 8:30 को आपका एक्सीडेंट होता है और 9 o'clock आप मेंस की एग्जाम देने जा सकते हैं, इंटरव्यू से पहले 1 महीने तक आप हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड है और उससे 1 वीक पहले आप दिल्ली जाके उसकी प्रिपरेशन कर सकते हैं, तो लक हैज टू कम विथ, उसको आना पड़ेगा और आपको आईपीएस बनाना पड़ेगा. लोग बोलते हैं कि एक्सीडेंट के बाद आप जाके आए एंड ऑल. तो सिंपल था कि मैं एग्जाम के लिए निकला, मेंस मेरा था, सुबह जीएसटी का पेपर था. 8:30 को मेरा स्कूटी स्लिप हो गया, मेरा लिगामेंट इंजरी हो गया, लेफ्ट हैंड में इंजरी था, सीट से ब्लीडिंग हो रहा था. लेकिन मेरे पास 2 ऑप्शन थे. मैं खड़ा हुआ, मैंने देखा, ओके माय राइट हैंड इज सेफ, एंड आई डिसाइडेड आई विल गो टू द एग्जाम हॉल एंड राइट द एग्जाम. मेरे पास दो ही ऑप्शन थे, या तो मैं वहां से उठ के रोने लगूं, यार मेरे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों हुआ, मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया, मेरा मेंस खराब हो गया, और हॉस्पिटल जाऊं, या दूसरा ऑप्शन था कि मैं देखूं कि मैं 3 घंटे और सर्वाइव कर सकता हूँ। हाँ, कर सकता हूँ। मैं मेंस के लिए एग्जाम हॉल में गया। ये जितने भी फोटोग्राफ्स लगे हैं, सर ने जैसे बताया कि जितने भी इंसान सक्सेसफुल हुए, अगर आप उसकी लाइफ स्टोरी देखेंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं एक मोमेंट आता है जहां पे वो इंसान की जो स्ट्रगल है वो पीक पे हो जाते हैं। वो इस मोमेंट पे आपको डिसाइड करना है कि आपको वहां से यू टर्न लेना है या आपको वहां से आगे निकलना है। इन सब लोगों ने डिसाइड किया कि उनको वहां से आगे निकलना है, एंड दैट इज द फंडा ऑफ लाइफ। सक्सेस उन्हीं को मिलता है जो इस स्ट्रगल वाले मोमेंट से आगे निकलने की सोचते हैं। जब भी आपको लगे कि आपके सिर पे बहुत बहुत मुसीबत है, जब भी आपको लगे कि आप हर तरह से गिर चुके हैं, जब भी आप उतनी ज्यादा उसकी वैल्यू होती है। सोना जो होता है वो जितना ज्यादा तपता है उतनी उसकी वैल्यू होती है। अगर आप जिंदगी में तप रहे हैं, अगर आप जिंदगी में घिस रहे हैं, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आप हर तरह से मुसीबतों में गिरे हुए हैं, तभी आपकी जो वैल्यू है वो बढ़ने वाली है। और यही मेरा एटीट्यूड रहा है। लोग बोलते हैं कि तुम्हारी फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन ठीक नहीं थी, पापा इलेक्ट्रिशियन है, मम्मी हाउसवाइफ थी, डायमंड के कारखाने में काम करती थी, उसके बाद उन्होंने मैरिज में रोटियां बनाने का काम किया, और उस तरह से मैं पढ़ा। लेकिन जब मुझे पूछा जाता है कि ऐसी कौन सी चीज है आपकी लाइफ में जो आप बदलना चाहते हो, आई सेड नथिंग। क्योंकि वो चीजें नहीं होती मेरी लाइफ में तो शायद आज आपके सामने में नहीं होता। तो अगर लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स है, अगर लाइफ में स्ट्रगल है, जैसे सर ने बताया स्ट्रगल इज पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, एंड आई स्ट्रांगली बिलीव इन दैट। क्योंकि अगर हम दिल्ली में थे, मेरे दोस्त के साथ में निकला बाहर घूमने, बोलता है यार ऐसी लाइफ चाहिए, कोई मगजमारी नहीं, आराम से बैठते हैं पूरे दिन एसी वाले कमरे में, बहुत सारे पैसे हैं और कोई टेंशन नहीं, ऐसी लाइफ चाहिए मुझे। मेरे पास ऑप्शन है तो क्या? बोला देख, सामने एटीएम का रूम दिख रहा है, एसी वाला कमरा है, बहुत सारे पैसे, कोई मगजमारी नहीं, जॉब ले ले। क्यों आईएएस आईपीएस में दिमाग खराब कर रहा है? अगर स्ट्रगल नहीं चाहिए तो यू हैव टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज विद दैट लाइफ। जब भारत वर्ष का सपना चंद्रगुप्त ने देखा, चाणक्य ने देखा, और उस भारतवर्ष को बनाने के लिए जब ये संघर्ष जारी था, और तब नंद के राजा धनानंद की डॉटर दूरदराज से चंद्रगुप्त को प्यार हो जाता है, और जब चाणक्य उनको बोलते हैं कि नहीं, तुम्हें उससे दूर रहना है, तब चंद्रगुप्त बोलता है आचार्य, कभी कभी सोचता हूँ कि जिंदगी में या ये भारत के सम्राट बनने के लिए इतना त्याग, इतना बलिदान ना देना होता तो। और तब चाणक्य रिप्लाई करते हैं, तो हर कोई भारत का सम्राट होता। दिस इज द फंडामेंटल रूल ऑफ लाइफ। अगर आईएएस बनने के लिए, आईपीएस बनने के लिए सेक्रीफाइस करना नहीं पड़ेगा, अगर उसके लिए आपको त्याग नहीं करना पड़ेगा, तो आज पूरे इंडिया में हर घर में आपको आईएएस आईपीएस मिल जाएंगे। So when you are entering into this game of UPSC or MPSC, make sure that you have to sacrifice anything which will take you to your goal. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमें टेंशन होती है, यार दोस्त की एंगेजमेंट है, उसकी बर्थडे पार्टी है, उसकी शादी है, अटेंड नहीं करूंगा तो बोलेगा मैं तेरी शादी में नहीं आऊंगा, एंड ऑल। लेकिन बिलीव मी, जब आप आईएएस बन जाओगे, वो सामने से याद दिलाएगा, भाई इनविटेशन कार्ड नहीं भेजा तुझे। समझ रहे हो? तो जो कुछ भी इसके लिए सेक्रीफाइस कर रहे हो, वो जब आप उस पोस्ट पे पहुंचोगे, सब कुछ वर्थ है, सब कुछ। मेरा इंटरव्यू था यूपीएससी का, मुझे एग्जैक्ट डेट याद है, 23 मार्च को मेरा इंटरव्यू था। 20 फरवरी को मुझे हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट किया गया क्योंकि मुझे इन्फेक्शन हो गया था बॉडी, एंड बहुत हाई फीवर था, तो आईवी के अलावा कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था। 1 मार्च को ठीक हो गया, मैंने सोचा चलो दिल्ली निकलते हैं। 2 मार्च को मैं दिल्ली पहुंचा। 3 मार्च को वापस से टॉन्सिलाइटिस का अटैक होने की वजह से फ्लाइट लेके वापस से पालनपुर अहमदाबाद, अगेन हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन। 15 मार्च को आई गॉट रिलीव्ड फ्रॉम द हॉस्पिटल। 16 मार्च को मैं दिल्ली पहुंचा। और 23rd of March को I gave my UPSC interview. So 1 महीने का हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन. उसके बाद जब दिमाग में ये था कि मेरे साथ जो लोग इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं वो 1 महीने से प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं एंड 1 महीने से मैं हॉस्पिटल में था. अगेन आई थॉट दिस इज द मोमेंट टू प्रूव योरसेल्फ. आई वेंट टू द इंटरव्यू और पूरे इंडिया में सेकंड हाईएस्ट मार्क्स इन इंटरव्यू फॉर द एंटायर लाइफ. कि जितने भी कंप्लेंट्स आपकी लाइफ में है, मैं यहाँ से आता हूँ, मेरे पेरेंट्स ये करते हैं, मैं वो करता हूँ, मेरे पास मेरा इंग्लिश अच्छा नहीं है, मेरा मैथ्स अच्छा नहीं है, ये सारे हमने अपने आप को दिए हुए एक्सक्यूजेस हैं. यू हैव टू फाइंड द सॉल्यूशन बाय योरसेल्फ. अगर इंग्लिश नहीं आता है, आई कैन स्टार्ट विद द 5th स्टैंडर्ड बुक. और 5th स्टैंडर्ड बुक से भी शुरुआत करने में अगर मुझे अपना ईगो बीच में आ रहा है, देन आई कैन नॉट लर्न इट एट एनी स्टेज ऑफ माई लाइफ. स्टार्ट विद द 5th स्टैंडर्ड बुक.
Okay. Hopefully, you listened all this wonderful speech by the Samir Hassan, the second IPS top of the country, and without any economical conditions and without so much of health. Okay, so he done it. Okay, he's working as a superintendent of police in Odisha nowadays. Okay, so I got some questions here. Right now, so I'll go for one of the question here. Something called, one of the interesting questions is there. Okay, see, no, some in corrupted. Okay, sir, do you think that in this complex corrupted system, to do IAS officer have that easy to freedom to work promptly? Okay, I'll answer this question. See, first one. Okay, the first one is, I'll tell you one thing. I'm talking about UPSC. UPSC in the total process, the total process of UPSC is a 99.9% transparent, transparent and clean. It is high, it is only meritorious. UPSC conducting the examination, getting the job or getting this one is highly meritorious. It is only with respect to the meritorious and your caliber. And after coming here, I'll give 100 examples to be, honest officer. In this system, you make the system actually. We make the system. See, it depends on us. Okay, it depends on us how you are making the system corrupted or non-corrupted or something like this. So I'll give 100 a very sincere, highly dedicated, who done something to the country as an IAS officer, there is a huge. But normally, all the negative things will be carried out and be highlighted always. But there are many good IAS officers who are working in a system wonderfully to the country, you know, and you can become such a wonderful officer for the country. You can see we make this system is corrupted. We make it, not anybody. So you clean it, okay? And many of the people are doing it now. And which books so we need to refer for the examination of the preparation right now? See, as I talking about the prelims, IAS prelims examination, right? So I told you. So I think paper 1 or paper 2, something like this. It is an 6th standard to the 12th standard NCERT book. Okay, you start with this. Okay, you start with the NCERT books. Then you go for geography and polity and please read the Hindu newspaper every day. Hindu newspaper, it's mandatory. You take 1 hour reading. If you are interested to go for IAS examination, you must read 1 hour Hindu paper every day. And once again, another one is in a total in India, anybody decided to go for IAS examination, they will collect the books, they will collect the notes. See, I'll tell you one thing is, see, first you decide, you just go for one of the group. Because many of the students will collect the information, collect the books, they don't read it. And in IAS examination, I'll tell you, please keep in mind, you should know what not to read. I repeat, see, in IAS examination, you should know what not to read. Then you will come to know what to read. IAS is a vast reading, huge. You cannot read all the things. You should be specific. I should read this, I should read this, and how you should read it, what you should read it, how much you should read it. This is really specific. You cannot read, simply take a book and keep reading. No, absolutely wrong. The method of reading is different. Please go for any other teacher here. Okay? Please, sitting in the library, go within a huge library, I'll read all these books, I'll clear IAS. 1 in a lakh, they will do like this. 1 in a lakh or 1 in a 50,000, they will do like this. As a common man, you should have a, in Kannada ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಮುಂದೆ ಗುರಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇದ್ದ ಗುರು ಇರಬೇಕು. He will show where to go, how to read, and what to read, and what not to read, how much to read, how to read. These are the method. Okay, you please contact me by this one. We'll discuss on this one. Okay, and I think once again, can you say your phone number, please, sir? Yeah, my number once again, I'll repeat: 861-875-1967. Okay, and another one is. Okay, sir, which books? Okay, then there is so much of books are there, but you should be very selective on that case. Sir, I am an IT graduate. There is in computer IT graduate. Is there is a computer in optional language? Optional language computer is always there, but the thing is, if you go for the technical subject, it is very tough to handle in an IAS level. Okay, you take in history. I think this 1947 is Independence Day. Independence Day, nothing will change at this one. So there is an exact picture there. If you go for anthropology or geography or history, they cannot screw you, But here, if you come to the technical papers, they can do many things there. It's tough to you only. You see, more upon that, you want to take it means you can take it. There is an option is there in UPSC. Sir, I'm doing undergraduate in mathematics. It is easy to take the optional subject, major mathematics. Okay, you can take it. But what? If you go for such things, they will take in a huge, tough paper. You will get it. Then any op is there. There are many apps are there. If you go to the YouTube, there are many apps are there. Some apps are paid apps are there, or some apps are free apps are there. You can go to the YouTube and you can take in how to clear an IPS, how to clear an IAS without an coaching or with coaching, these, that, and there is a huge, you can go to the YouTube, you can check it out, no problem. It's available. But how much you will take it and how much you will converting into this one, okay, it depends on you. Many of the students were doing it, but success rate by watching the video or without the teacher, little bit tough. So we will share this video. Okay. So any questions, please, you can ask me directly. I'm here to answer you on UPSC. No, sir, same procedure for exams, yeah, for KS also. Yeah, it is something like this. KS and IAS. KS will be conducted by the KPSC, the Karnataka state government, and respective states, KPSC or something like that. KPSC, Karnataka Public Service Commission, they will do this one also. But here, in this year, the KPSC reduced the marks of 1,752. I mean, 500 marks reduced, okay, to 1,250, and there was a 250 marks was there for an interview. Nowadays, that is reduced to the 50 marks, you know. And once again, here there is a 24th of August, IKS prelims examinations are there, and we are conducting the class in Saraswatipuram, okay. And within some of the health department staff members are attending this one, and that is now 1 week is postponed for because of the corona. And anybody is interested for KS, you can call me and you can attend the class. Sir, when will be having the qualifying exam English and regional? Okay, so if you are qualifying after the completing the prelims examination, right? After the completing the prelims examinations, when you are going for the IAS mains examination, you're supposed to go for qualifying for the English paper, right? It is not before that. You should clear the IAS prelims when you are going for a when you are writing the IAS mains examination, you're supposed to go for a language paper, English or any other English and other regional languages. Instant and 12th French instead of my regional language, I am eligible. No, French. No, actually, you can write any Indian languages. In fact, not French. So, any Indian languages, the Constitution of India is given chance to write examination in any Indian languages. In Tamil Nadu, students attend KPSC. So actually, even though Tamil Nadu students can attend KPSC, there is some seats will be available for the outside of the state also. You can write it, no worry. With some of the documents you supposed to submit to the KPSC and your eligible application is approved, and you can write it. Some of the seats will be available for outsiders, outside the state also. So there will be any online class for KS by your institution. As of now, we are not conducting any of the online classes. We are doing offline classes for KS as of now. I'm studying in MCOM. I want to take my optional subject, public administration. Better not to say. Yeah, you can take public administration. It's a wonderful subject, right? Okay. Even though you are writing in MCOM, and if you take an optional subject as a public administration, wonderful. You can take it. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. All the listeners, all the audience was listening to me for some time. Thank you all. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope there will not be any more questions from the participants. Gratitude is the essence of humanity. I thank Dr. Ramchandra Seji, Managing Director, and Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, MD, Research Head, Sanatana Research and Training Institute for their involvement in organizing this webinar. I also thank today's speaker and the resource person, Professor Narasimhamurthy P, Managing Director, Masterminds IAS Training Academy, Mysore, for his informative session and providing useful insights about the UPSC examination. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Finally, I thank all the participants for your active participation in this webinar. As all of you know that we have used a Zoom app for this webinar, and there is a restriction in the accommodation of the participants. At present, we can accommodate maximum 100 participants. So if any of your friends were unable to attend this webinar, you can visit Sanatana Sampratishthana YouTube channel. It will be available there. This session will be available there. And for your kind information, we will be organizing another outreach program on 21st July, that is Tuesday, about the GATE examination. So there will be an outreach program on 21st July 2020, that is Tuesday, about the GATE examination. So you can register and participate in it. The registration link will be sent very soon. It will be sent to you very soon. So in future also we'll be organizing very useful sessions and informative sessions. So I request all the participants to participate actively in these sessions and get the maximum information as well as knowledge from these sessions. Once again, I thank all the participants for their active participation as well as cooperation. Thank you, and one and all. Thank you.